In the late summer of 1887, the Dawson family arrived at the Missouri-Kansas borderlands with dusty boots and hopeful hearts. James Dawson, a widowed father, had spent the last of his savings to buy a peculiar old farmhouse, strangely inexpensive, yet sturdy enough for his two children, 12-year-old Clara and 8-year-old Tommy. The house stood alone on a patch of prairie, its roof slanted like a tired old man. Tall grass swayed around it like whispers. Neighbors had warned James, "That place ain't right after dark." But James refused superstition. He only saw a chance for a new beginning, away from painful memories. They unpacked as sunlight warmed the porch, and for the first time in months, James felt peace. Little did they know, peace would end when the sun dipped below the horizon. During their first evening, as Clara swept the kitchen floor, a loud click echoed through the house. She tried the back door, locked, then the front, locked too. Even windows wouldn't budge. James frowned. He hadn't locked a thing. Then, as suddenly as the locks turned, the oil lamps flickered to life, though no one had lit them. Tommy whispered, voice trembling, "Maybe the house doesn't want us to leave." At night. James brushed it off, laughing unnaturally loud to hide his own chills. Yet, when sunrise came, every door swung open freely. A strange rule had revealed itself. At sunset, the house locked everyone in. On the third night, Clara awoke to the soft sound of muffled crying. She followed the noise to the hallway, cold as a winter cellar. "Is someone there?" she whispered. The crying stopped. Then came a faint voice from inside the walls. "Please, don't leave me alone." Clara stumbled back, terrified. The house was not only alive, it was lonely. The sunlit mornings always made fear feel foolish. While cleaning the attic, the family found a dusty trunk filled with old books, tools, and one peculiar item, a ripped portrait frame, empty except for the imprint where a person once was. The date etched below read August 13th, 1867, exactly 20 years earlier. Tommy asked, "Where did the picture go?" Clara only stared, unnerved by the idea that the missing person might still be here. That night, thunder boomed across the plains. As the house sealed itself again with metallic clicks, James decided to investigate. He pressed hard against the front door. Nothing. Not even a rattle. But when Tommy wandered too close to the basement stairs, the door slammed shut before he could fall. James froze. Was the house protecting them? Clara's curiosity outweighed her fear. She searched the house for signs of the previous owners. In the parlor, the floorboards felt uneven. She pried one loose and found a piece of parchment paper. The message, written in hurried ink. "It locks the doors because darkness brings the searching. Do not let it find you. SM." Who or what was searching? The air felt suddenly colder. Clara shoveled the board back into place, heart pounding. As dusk faded, Clara spotted a figure in the yard. A tall man. Motionless, like a shadow cut from the earth. He crept toward the house. His face. Wrong. Blurred, as if unfinished. He reached for the door handle. The locks clamped tight before he could turn it. The shadow man screeched, a hollow sound that rattled windows. Tommy screamed. Clara collapsed into James's arms. The house shook, but it did not let the figure inside. By morning, the figure was gone. James paced the kitchen, struggling to rationalize the impossible. Tommy, still shaken, whispered, "The house saved us. Like it cares." Clara nodded slowly. The nightly lock-in wasn't a curse, it was protection. But from what? James tried to reassure them, yet doubt gnawed at him. He needed answers. Someone, somewhere, must know the truth behind this home. James rode into town and found an elderly widow, Mrs. Halloway, who stiffened when he mentioned the farm. Her wrinkled hands trembled as she served him tea. "That house loved its people," she said softly. "Owned by the Merritt family for decades, until the night the darkness took them." She explained, a grieving mother, Sarah Merritt, lost her husband and son to a tragic accident in the fields. She begged God to let her keep what remained of her family, and the house answered. It locked them in. Forever. They were never seen again. The house was not evil. It was afraid of losing loved ones. James rode home with a heavier heart. That night, Clara found Tommy talking to someone behind the pantry door. "Who are you talking to?" she asked. Tommy turned with wide eyes. "The boy who lives here," he said innocently. "He says the darkness wants kids first." The air turned ice cold. The pantry door creaked open a crack. A small voice whispered from inside, "Help me stay. Don't let the night take me." Clara's stomach twisted. The missing portrait. The cries in the walls. The house wasn't just protecting them. It was trying to protect him. The child trapped within its wooden bones. Clara pressed her hand against the pantry door. "Are you Sarah Merritt's son?" she whispered. A small pause, then, "Yes. My name is Peter." His voice was thin, like wind through cracks. Clara felt her eyes burn with tears. "Why are you here? Why can't we see you?" she asked. "I'm still here because Mama wished it. But the dark wants me gone." The boards creaked behind him, as though the house itself flinched at those words. James rushed in, pulling Tommy and Clara away. "It's time we left," he said, voice firm. But when he tried the front door, locked. Sunset wasn't even close. The house had locked them in early. Something was coming. A thick storm rolled over the plains, lightning cracked, and the lamps flared to life on their own. The house groaned, boards tightening like a heartbeat under strain. Peter's voice echoed from every direction. "He's coming for me. And now, for you." James grabbed his rifle. "Who's coming?" he demanded. No answer. Only that chilling, wind-like whisper. "The unfinished man." Clara remembered that stretched shadow figure outside. She clutched Tommy close. Thunder shook the rafters. And underneath the storm, footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Approaching. The front window clouded with a silhouette. The same unfinished man, face still void of features. James lifted the rifle, but the boy's voice stopped him. "He feeds on loss. He was once a man, until grief devoured him." Peter explained with urgent shivers in his tone. His mother's wish to never lose her child again anchored his soul to the house. But another presence in the darkness also heard her desperate prayer. It promised her protection, but it wanted to steal what she loved. That entity used grief like a lantern, feeding on sorrowed hearts. First Peter's father, then his mother. Now Peter was its last light. And the Dawson family? They were more fuel. The unfinished man slammed his fist against the wood. The walls rattled like bones. James braced the children behind him. He had lost their mother once. He would not lose them again. "You won't take my kids," he shouted. Suddenly, the attic door above them burst open, and the ceiling groaned. Dust showered down. Peter's frightened plea rang out. "Don't hate the house. It's trying to help you survive." James realized the house wasn't imprisoning them. It was barricading them, protecting them, just as it once tried to protect the Merritts. Clara remembered the note by S.M. Sarah Merritt had tried to warn future families. She searched her memory. The hearth in the parlor had a loose brick. She knelt and pried at the stone, fingers trembling. Inside lay a leather-bound diary, brittle with age. The final entry stopped her breath. "The house locks to guard us, but grief is stronger than walls. If my love traps Peter here forever, how can he ever be free?" Sarah hadn't cursed the house. She regretted binding her son's soul to it. Tears hit the page. Clara whispered, "We have to set Peter free." The unfinished man's voice seeped through cracks, deep and hollow. "Give me the child. Give me their sorrow." Every unlived heartbeat, every orphaned cry. He fed on it. Peter sobbed inside the walls. "He'll take me. And then he'll take you." James held his children tight. His fear was not for himself. It was the fear of a father who had already known unbearable loss. And that was exactly what the monster wanted. Floorboards sprang up, forming a shield between the shadow and the children. The house roared, nails bending, timber creaking, doors slamming as though fighting a war. Peter cried out, "Mama made the house promise to protect whoever lived here. It won't let you die." The unfinished man screeched like a soul tearing apart. He slammed against the foundation, and the house shook in agony. To keep them safe, it might collapse trying. Clara looked toward the pantry where Peter hid. "No more cages," she whispered. She placed her hand against the wall. "Peter, you deserve to be with your family, not trapped here forever." The house fell still. James realized what she meant. With tears streaming, he nodded. "Peter," he said, voice breaking, "a child should never live in fear. Your mother loved you, but love isn't meant to chain you." The unfinished man shrieked, terrified of losing his meal. Light flickered, then warmth filled the room. Peter's voice steadied. "Thank you for seeing me." With a soft sigh, almost like relief, the locks clicked open. Sunlight burst through the windows, banishing shadows. The unfinished man staggered back, featureless face twisting, then dissolving into dust and wind. A small figure appeared in the sunbeam, a boy with brown curls and hopeful eyes. He smiled at Clara and Tommy. "Tell Mama it's okay. I'm not afraid anymore." Then he lifted weightless into the light and was gone. The walls, finally, quiet. 2 weeks later, James stood on the porch at sunset. The doors no longer locked. The house creaked gently, like an old friend breathing easy for the first time in decades. Tommy placed fresh wildflowers by the hearth. Clara set the Merritt diary beside them, a tribute. For Peter, loved then, free now. Mrs. Halloway visited, tears shining. "You did what his mother couldn't," she whispered. "You let love be release, not prison." James looked across the prairie, wind in his hair. For the first time, he didn't feel hunted by grief. He felt home. The stars emerged, and the house stood tall, not a prison anymore, but a guardian of those who needed healing. A silent vow lingered in the night air. Love should never trap. It should protect, and then let go.